Hey there! I'm from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCG Fam Show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk about it at the show. And before we get into the show, I want to talk to you about the sale. If you're watching this video on the day it's being done, the 29th of December, 2022, sale going on at OCGFAM887. 25% off Nectar, 29th through the 31st. So no code needed. Just put your Nectar in your basket there. 25% off. Now, added bonus feature, not really a feature, we're going to have to raise prices. So coming the first of the year is going to be a small increase in the prices. So if you want to beat the price increase, not only will you get your 25% off, you're going to get it at the lower price, because it's just never been a price increase ever, and it's just got to happen. Anyway, so opportunity, and take that. The show, Ripening. We've talked a fair bit about ripening, about when you get to the end of the line there and you want to start backing off on all your nutrients to hold that stuff off, bring on fall on those leaves so you can get that, harden that stuff up. Scott and I talked specifically about that in the clip I want to show you, so I'd like you to watch the clip and I'll talk to you after.
When saying there's never too much calcium from Herc, as long as you're running the other nutrients in conjunction, what about when you're ripening with Herc and Aphrodite minus the rest? In my case, I run Circes in combination with the Herc through ripening for the last week. Let's talk about ripening stage in the final flower.
Yeah, I mean, because now you're weaning this plant off of everything. You're getting to the point where you just want to fill. You're hardening off that fruit at the very end.
Yeah.
This would be the time that there might be too much of anything. And it's just because you don't want to put the phosphorus in there. You don't want the parts per million in there. You don't need that nutrient charge when the plants are shutting down. So all the way through up until you are fine with your flower development, you can't really you can, but it's harder to overdo the bone meal. But in flush, pretty much anything past 2 tablespoons, there's a diminishing return rapidly. You're just wasting money. You're actually trying to promote them to grow again because you're giving them so many parts per million. They get confused.
If they were in nature, there comes a point where they're like, well, we're done.
Oh, yeah.
And you're telling them, no, it's all good.
No, by my breeder, it says 2 more weeks. But now, listen to the plant.
Just sit and watch tube and hang out. You're going to be fine. And they're like, no. Okay.
No, you can overdo. I think you can definitely overdo Herc in the flush, in the stage of, I think the worst case is you're just going to, it'll bring an off taste at the end where it's just, there's an off flavor.
It's not right.
It should be.
You can't quite pick it out, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know when you eat something, oh, that's good. It's not that.
No, it's everything you try to enhance will start muting down because that one thing Herc is trying to do. I mean, if you overload it at the end. But I mean, I think that's the question that's being asked is because we've made that statement, you're not really going to mess it up with Herc.
Yeah.
Until the end, then anything over a tablespoon, you're just throwing your money in. Now, I've had a lot of guys do 1 and 1, tablespoon, which is fine. But I think I really am focusing on trying to get them to get into fall, get their color changing, and I'm trying to starve them while hardening off the fruit. And the best way for me to do that is with Herc.
Do plants run out of food in nature as well? I mean, as things get colder and the year ends, do they start... It gets harder for them to find.
Well, if they're not getting the sun,
and which is where they get most of their
energy,
from, right? Yeah,
and everything, I mean, and I like in a perfect setting in a rainforest. No, they never run out of nutrition because it's a constant cycle of breaking things down and organic matter falling. But there's no elves out there feeding them Herculean harvest and Demeter's destiny. It's a deer dies and a tree limb falls on it, and then fungus breaks it all down into humus, and the humus now feeds the plant.
When we grow indoor, are we simulating the sun through more nutrients in the soil, kind of to some extent?
Now, the lighting that we're using, that's the energy, because all the food is really just to balance off the energy they store from gamma radiation, and then they convert that to say, hey, if we're going to start breathing, we need to start actually accessing proteins and enzymes, and so it's just a balance of... giving them more food. The thing with, if you do this with most plants, you can't push lettuce to yield bigger, and you can't, you can hammer peppers and you can hammer tomatoes, but at some point, it's a diminishing return.
Sure.
Cannabis is you can mainline this stuff, and it will grow, and then you can just turn it off, and then okay, done. I mean, it's crazy
So-
how responsive cannabis is. Most plants, you can't do what we do with indoor cannabis, because if you did this with indoor tomato, you would see a really bad result fast. You can't follow the Roman and do a feed tea, feed flush. They would be like, how about a feed, water, feed, water, because they just don't need that much nutrition. Cannabis loves it. And crazy hops, too. I mean, hops, you can feed the crap out of hops, and they will just grow. But, yeah.
Good answer.
It's an
Good answer.
Okay, what do you think? Informative, entertaining, helpful? Let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it later. Don't forget about the sale. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. The OCG Fam Show. It's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.